In this video, I'll be reviewing this Canon 200mm f2.8 ultrasonic prime lens. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Sam from Live Production Tips and Tools, and in today's video, I'm going to be to take a look at this lens, which is a Canon EF mount 200mm f2.8, which is a prime lens that cost me around $375. I got it used, and I'm going to kind of review it today, just show you basically what I've been able to do with it. So without taking much time, let's get right into it. So first off, I got this lens because I was looking for something cheaper in a telephoto style. So when I'm live streaming, I have to be in the back on the media booth, and the stage is about 18 meters away. I was looking for something that was like at least 2.8 or below. I didn't want to go for f4 because f4, honestly, I use micro four third sensor, so f4 was gonna have some poor performance in low light. I came across this lens. Actually, the actual price is around $1,000 if you buy it new, but I was able to find this lens on eBay from Japan. The cost was around $375. I checked the description, I checked the pictures, everything looked good, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance. Fast forward, I got the lens and I got to test it, and I want you guys to see the results, what I got. So if you're using a Canon camera, you're going to get 200mm lens, and it's a prime lens. You're not gonna be able to zoom, so make sure you know the distance where you're gonna be shooting from, and make sure it gives you exactly what you want. Okay, let's go through the features of this lens. Okay, so this lens has autofocus as well as manual focus. If you want to use autofocus on your camera, so it's a little switcher, you can switch to auto or manual. Okay, the second thing, of course, as I mentioned, is 200mm prime lens, so it does not zoom. Okay, so it's a fixed focal length. Okay, and then you have the focus distance, minimum focus distance of 1.5 meters. You can switch to 1.5 or 3.5 meters depending on your situation. So this is your focus ring, if you can see it. It has a huge focus ring and comes with the lens cap depending on where you buy it, and the lens hood is attached to it. So as you can see, I can just open it or close it, like it just kind of, just release it, something like that. If you're using a crop sensor camera like Lumix cameras, then you need to get an adapter. If you get a dummy adapter, which is cheaper, it's gonna give you 400mm lens, equivalent of full frame, and I haven't tried it myself, but that's what you should get. And so it's gonna be super zoomed in. One of the issues that you may have is the stabilization, because this lens, I forgot to mention that it has image stabilization, which will work with your camera. If your camera has image stabilization as well, it will be able to give you a stable image. So if you want to be able to control the aperture or use autofocus on a crop sensor camera that's not Canon, you would need to buy a speed booster, something like the Metabones or the Viltrox, which would take the signal from the lens and send it to the camera to be able to talk together and actually be able to control the aperture, the autofocus, and all that. Okay, I personally own a Metabones adapter that I have for over 2 years, and I tried it. I had some issues with it. It couldn't work on my G7. I've been able to use it on my Lumix G85 and my Lumix G85 as well. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not really consistent. Okay, so sometimes you just give me an error message, and I will, kind of turn off the camera and turn it on again, and it will work. Okay, so I would say 75% of the time it works on my GH5 and my Lumix G85 as well. If you are a photographer as well, it does give nice portraits, but as far as video is concerned, I have used it. As you can see the footage, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's sharp, it's nice, it gives you a nice depth of field, and stabilization, it works well. I can easily control the aperture whenever the metabones is working with my Lumix G85 or the Lumix G85. I can easily control the aperture. Actually, it gives me an extra step with the metabones because I get the lens to 1.8. Again, for my personal situation, for my church, this lens, I think it may be something that I'll be using. I'm still debating because of, adapting it. I'm having, small issues here and there, but that's just my personal situation because of the cameras that I'm using. But again, as I said, on the Lumix G85 works, and I'm still waiting to get the Viltrox adapter to see how it's going to do on the G7 as well. Would I recommend this lens? I would say absolutely. Just make sure the way you adapt it to your camera, make sure you have the right adapter that will work well. Other than that, the lens itself is amazing. You can find it used on eBay. If you have more money, then I would say buy a new one, but it may cost you a lot of money. So personally, I'm okay with buying sometimes used stuff on eBay as long as they are in good condition and I make sure that the seller has given me enough information about the product. I hope it gives you an idea if you're thinking of getting a telephoto lens like this for your church live streaming and recordings. Again, there's so many options out there, some vintage lenses that you may consider if you're on a budget. Other than that, if you have enough money, then maybe consider some zoom lens, something like 70 to 200, something that can zoom. Then it will give you even a flexibility to actually be able to sometimes zoom, get a wider shot and then get a tight shot. But one of the things that I don't like about zoom lens is as you zoom, the aperture is going to change, right? So if you have a 2.8 to something, the more you zoom, the more the aperture is going to kind of go up. Therefore, you may have issues dealing with low light situations. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I always like to go with prime lenses. As long as I know my working distance matches the focal length and the look that I'm going for, then I'll rather go with a prime lens that will give me a consistent picture that I want. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing so you don't miss my next videos that I'll be posting. I post twice a week, answering your specific questions about your ministry, live streaming, and recordings. Thank you guys for watching. If you have questions or you have been using this lens or any other kind of lens that you've been using in your ministry, make sure you put it down in the comments. Let us know how it has been working for you, and it will help the community so we can move forward together. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'll see you on my next video. Take care.